So here we go, whānau. This is how I water my gardens. And as you can tell, the garlic is blooming. So because I'm right here doing the compost bin, which I'll give you another update of. But see, as you can see, they slowly start, you know, so the slower they take to empty into the garden, the more I know the bed is filling up. See, look at that one. It just disappeared fast. Which means this needs a little more water. See, this one's slowing down a bit over here. But this one's like gobble, gobble, gobble. So I'll give this a couple more waters over here. Here's the compost over here. And you can look where the line is there. And I'll give this a flip and I'll show you, you know, how far this thing will come down. So I've also got this attached to the super soaker. But here's my other little garden. So this has got my forage plant from next door, from their garden into this garden. My parsley from my tomato and capsicum garden. So I have a main plant in there, and then I companion plants around that plant. So tomatoes and capsicum go together. So now I'm adding whatever works with those two around them in there, which parsley does. So these are little gardens I'm starting with my repurposing my drawers, garden drawers. And over here, these are more forage plants from down the road. So anything that grows well in your local area will grow well in your garden. So in between my flowers, I have my potatoes. Here's all the new spuds I put in there, which are doing really well because, so is this plant, because in here I have a fish head and all my kitchen scraps, as you can see. So when I water this, it doesn't disturb the garden. And then this will just feed directly into the ground. I drilled holes in the bottom. So as this water slowly releases down in the bottom, this will feed the garden from the ground up, which these plants over here seem to be appreciating, because as you can see, some of them are dying back. Look at this one here, seems to be liking the marrow bone. But even the soil, I prefer my homemade soil, but you know, I had to top it up with something. So this is, as I'm companion planting around one main plant, which in this garden is the potato. So the marigolds, I heard, work well with the potato. So do beans, which some have bloomed and some haven't, and that's okay. The flowers seem to be doing okay, which are my bee attractors to attract the bees. See, and here's all my potatoes growing. I have a different kind of potato in the house at the moment, more of this one as well in the fridge. I also have another mix in there, which is like a little baby potato, which I might grow in like containers, or I might grow over there on that side of the greenhouse. Over here, as you can see, I have my tomatoes in there, my little ones, which seem to be doing okay over here. They're not covered. They've adjusted to, you know, the outdoor weather. My flower is loving it over here. As you can see, that looks like it's doubled in size. See, my parsley not too well. but I'll give that a trim back once I've watered everything down. And I like the personal touch of watering my garden, because then I can keep an eye on it, you know. See what's working, where I can add new seedlings from the greenhouse. See what's working well. I like having the pots in there as well, because it's easier to water the plant. They seem to be enjoying their little areas. So that capsicum was doing well. I just trimmed it back, so you know it'll grow back even better. In this container, it's the same as the one I explained on the other side with the potato. That also has a fish head in there, and that will just feed, you know, my tomatoes and my capsicum, which I know will thrive off the fish head in there. See, and this is what I use all the containers for. Because once everything blooms, as long as I'm able to get to these containers, I know that my plants are getting a good water. These some work, some don't. I've tried to stick them in with sticks. So these are my silver beets. Some didn't survive without the cover, and that's okay. That's why I grow seedlings, so I'm able to trial and error. So I added in some of the clay mix, because this is the soil from the store, which isn't quite nutrient. It is good in the sense that it's lighter, but not enough nutrients, as I started this off as a composting. So there's a lot of compost under here, cardboard, broken down over months with some chicken manure in it. Topped it up with some potting soil from the store, and then added in some clay and some worms, as you can see. Oh no, that's not a worm. But I did add worms in there with this clay soil. So I want to make sure they get a good water so they can break down what is beneath here. So the garlic in its separate pot is pretty much just to help keep the pest away from my silver beet seedlings, which I'll put in more when I'm not busy. So I had a fish head and my kitchen's waste in here, like banana. And the apple tree seems to be loving it. As you can see, all these flowers. So I'm quite happy with my apple tree there. And this lavender is definitely a bee attractor. But this is also how I do my gardens, and my garden over there. I have my feed drawers over here. So there's my little bird bath. So I like to fill it every day when I'm watering the gardens. I have my own pots over there, which is our liquid fertilizer breaking down in there, those over there. But I added carnations over there from in my greenhouse and over here in this ugly garden in bunches, so hopefully they pop up. In the front I've got azaleas over here, 2 different kinds. I have a native basil over here, native to Australia, a feed-jar tree, and then the creepers over here. And have the seating area over here where I can do my workout. So this garden over here's got all the kitchen waste under here. And that's where I think these popped up from. So I ended up taking out the raspberry, and this will be a companion garden to work around this, as this is the most dominant in this garden. But here's all my cosmos that I grew from seed, doing really well. So those were working well with the pumpkin or squash, one of those. My little bee thing, so bees can have a drink, especially when the flowers start booming. And this just helps to give my garden a good feed, especially with these heavy feeders. And eventually I got to get filling that. That's another compost bin. But yeah, just go along and fill up all these, find out. As you can do, some is doing really well. And then some ain't, but then I'll just put some seedlings in these ones from the ones in the greenhouse. Because right along this, there was a trench along here, I just filled it up with kitchen waste. We've got a few plants around doing well. Get over here. Oops. She's heating up here, Melbourne. See, some have got covers in here, so they're doing okay. So these ones I can water around them because they have the bottles around them. See, so it just helps, especially when they're babies, keep them moist. Got some sticks over here. So these are my sunflowers, which this will be able to grow up.